It's been a historic year of conference titles, broken records, bowl games, coaching shifts, and more for Maryland athletics. And we've been on the sidelines for all of it. So we're about to look back on all of the best moments on this final edition of the Left Bench TV.
Which I know was one of their goals when we started out, so really proud of this group.
We know we can do it, but we also know how hard it is to do it.
Hello and welcome back to the Left Bench TV, your sideline source for all things Maryland sports. I'm Kevin McNulty.
And I'm Katie Maher. Now, before we look back on this action-packed year of Maryland athletics, we've got to recap a weekend full of Big Ten championships, statement wins, and senior day surprises.
Yeah, that's right, Katie, and we're going to start with the tourney champions that won their title right here in College Park. Well, the Hardshells have shined throughout the season in the biggest of moments, and Saturday night was no different. The rain didn't let up, but Maryland's attack responded well and didn't take their foot off the gas against Rutgers. The spark plug of the Maryland offense was fifth-year senior Anthony DeMeo. Coming off his first hat trick of the season on Thursday, DeMeo notched another one, finishing the game with 4 goals and 2 assists. He wasn't the only Terp to have himself a day. Who other than Logan Wisnauskas to go off in the biggest game of the season thus far? The Big Ten Offensive Player of the Year opened up the scoring and notched 3 goals in the first half. Wisnauskas finished the day with 7 points, the 4th straight game that he's reached that number. Keegan Kahn, Eric Molliver, and Jonathan Donville all added goals in this one as the Terps cruised to a 17-7 victory over the Scarlet Knights. Wisnauskas was named MVP of the tournament, and for the second consecutive season, Maryland was crowned Big Ten tournament champions. And looking ahead to the NCAA tournament now, where Maryland unsurprisingly received the #1 overall seed, which guarantees them a first-round bye. The Terps will host the winner of Vermont and Manhattan in College Park this Sunday. They took down the Catamounts in the opening round of the tournament last year, but have never faced Manhattan in program history. Should Maryland win that one, they'll head to Columbus, Ohio to take on the winner of Brown, Virginia in the quarterfinals. And here's head coach John Tillman on the possibility of his team taking home the title on Memorial Day.
We know we can do it, but we also know how hard it is to do it. And sometimes you have to stay healthy. You have to get a few breaks. Things have to go your way. And so with so many good teams out there, we put ourselves in position where if we can have a great month, who knows what can happen. But I think all the 18 teams are probably saying the same thing.
Kevin, I just don't see this team losing. I mean, look how well they're faring against ranked opponents like Rutgers in the Big Ten tournament on a huge stage like that. They're not even letting people score in double digits this year.
Yeah, you look at their record, obviously there's not a loss on it, and I don't see one. It's going to take 4 more wins for them to do it. John Tillman always talks about he just wants that extra week with his guys. I think he's going to get it, but it would be nice if it ended in a national title.
Yeah, definitely would be.
And Katie, there's a reason why they call Maryland the lacrosse capital of the world.
Yeah, there is, Kevin. Not only is this men's team unstoppable, but the women's team went to Piscataway this weekend and ripped the ground out from under Rutgers for the tournament trophy. The top-seeded Terps performance in the Big Ten tournament was nothing short of what we expected to see from this team. Pure dominance. After rolling right through 4th-seeded Johns Hopkins on Friday night 14-6, Kathy Reese's squad met with host and 2-seed Rutgers on Championship Sunday. The first half was enough to give Maryland fans a scare, with the Terps trailing by 2 before Libby May and Tewaaraton nominee Aurora Cordingley stepped in to even the score before heading back into the locker rooms. From then on, it was all Terps. This dynamic defense held the Scarlet Knights scoreless for about 20 minutes, only letting up 1 more goal with just over 5 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. Maryland took the final 30 minutes to rack up 11 more goals, putting this one to bed 18-8 to bring home its 4th Big Ten tourney championship trophy. The win also marked Kathy Reese's 300th career win in just 333 games and 16 years with the program. Cordingley totaled 9 points on the day and was named the tournament MVP. Libby May added 5 goals to the board, and Abby Bosco's defense suffocated Rutgers. Here's Coach Reese after the game.
Second half, really pleased with how we came out. Defensively, we were all over the place. Great D, made some big stops, lots of ground balls. We were excellent on the draw control today. And then on the offensive end, I thought we shared the ball really well. We worked really well, and we found some good openings and shot great in the second half. So congratulations, obviously, to all of our 2022 Terps for winning the Big Ten regular season and then the conference tournament, which I know was one of their goals when we started out. So really proud of this group.
And the third goal on this team's list is, of course, to win a national championship. And they're already in good position to do just that. The Terps have been named the 2 seed in this year's NCAA tournament, automatically securing a first-round bye. They'll host the winner of Duke and Johns Hopkins in the second round on Sunday at 2:30 at the Plex. This is Maryland's 32nd consecutive NCAA tournament appearance, and you can bet they're going to be hungry to not only bring home a 16th national title, but also to avenge last year's second-round exit, handed to them by Duke, a team they could very well be seeing on Sunday. Now, this program has long been home to winners of the highly coveted Tewaaraton Award, and 3 current Terps have been named nominees this year. TLB's Alana Mutnick spoke with one of those nominees and a former 3-time winner to hear more about what this award means to the program.
The Tewaaraton Award is an annual honor given to the best male and female college lacrosse player in the nation. A Maryland women's lacrosse player has won 9 times with 6 different athletes, and 25 Terps have been named finalists, the most in any school. With 3 more nominees this year, the program proves once again its dominance. Each award winner receives a trophy with a Mohawk native playing lacrosse as a tribute to the Native American heritage of lacrosse. Taylor Cummings, the first 3-time Tewaaraton winner for both men and women, was the youngest woman to ever win the Tewaaraton Award.
Really just a huge blessing in terms of like where I was and the teams I was on, because without them, I wouldn't have been able to win it 1 time, let alone 3.
Cummings helped her team to 2 national championships in 2014 and 2015 and finished her collegiate career as a senior captain.
It's just a representation of the teams I was on and the amazing players I was around, because I couldn't win and be successful without being surrounded by a great group.
The 2022 team has 3 Tewaaraton nominees on its roster who have a chance to continue the legacy. Goalie Emily Sterling, attacker Aurora Cordingley, and defender Abby Bosco.
It's such an honor and so humbling to be part of that group of people, but I really just owe it all to my team.
With Abby Bosco leading the second-ranked defense, Sterling leading the nation with the best save percentage in Big Ten, and Cordingley, who's currently sitting 3rd in the nation when it comes to points per game, Maryland is truly the lacrosse capital.
Such an accomplished group of people, and I mean, to be on a list with that caliber of players would just be such an honor. It's so exciting that we have 3 on just this one team, and it really is, though, like, yes, it's 3 individual players, but it's really like when one person gets nominated, it's like your whole team gets nominated.
The hard work and dedication that these athletes have put into their game has clearly not gone unnoticed, and it would be no surprise to see any of them take home the award once more for this program. For the Left Bench TV, I'm Alana Mutnick.
And well, Katie, a few minutes ago, we predicted that Maryland men's lacrosse is going to take it all the way at the end of this month. Does one of these 3 take home the Tewaaraton?
I wouldn't be surprised to see it. I mean, Abby Bosco just won Big Ten Defender of the Year today. Aurora Cordingley took home Offensive Player of the Year. And Emily Sterling was a unanimous selection for the Big Ten Goalie of the Year. So with these 3 leading them, hard to picture them not taking home a national title, and hard to not imagine any of them not winning the Tewaaraton Award.
Yeah, they are quite the trifecta. And despite the grand achievements of some, college sports have been rocked in recent months by the sudden deaths of several athletes by suicide. In light of the losses, the Maryland Sports Business Conference hosted a panel Friday to discuss the importance of mental health in student athletes.
TLB's Alexa Wooten sat down with some of the student athletes at the event and got to hear their perspective on what's been happening across the country.
There's a voice in my head saying, you're not going to see tomorrow.
I thought about it and I'm like, why am I not happy? And he passes away on August 16th and my whole world went upside down.
In the span of 2 months, 6 college athletes have died from suicide. Their peers are no longer waiting for change. They're leading the charge in ending the stigma surrounding mental health.
I was very upset because it is one of us. When you see a fellow student athlete, even just struggling, you feel bad, let alone take their own life. When that could be your teammate, it could be you. It's truly heartbreaking.
Here at Maryland, student athletes are making sure that a conversation usually swept under the rug is fully present and addressed.
Student athletes feel like they're put on this pedestal. They have to act as if nothing's wrong, and when they go home, that life is great. But what's so upsetting is that the people that have the most that you don't give that second look to, and they're the person that goes through it the most.
Maryland football punter Anthony Pecorella, women's basketball forward Faith Masonis, and cheerleader Charlie Baker participated in Friday's panel, speaking on their own mental health struggles and the importance of mental health in college athletics. All three praised Maryland's handling of their mental health concerns, whether it was the resources they've provided, coaches starting the conversation, or the overall environment of the athletics community.
Fox, Brenda, and Yaz have all been very open to having those conversations, and I think that's the biggest step, is that your top brass is saying, we understand there's a problem and we're not going to shy away from it. We're going to fight through it with you.
Pecorella and Baker also brought up Healthy Minds, the Instagram page they started as a resource to help those struggling with mental health issues.
It's just a day-by-day thing, and like mental health is, it's a day-by-day thing, because I don't know what tomorrow will bring, but I know that I could help somebody today. And I'm going to use the account to help somebody today.
Some athletes have even demanded certain changes from the NCAA.
Having the coaches know the signs is one of the greatest things they can do. I would say knowledge is power in this situation.
Thank you, Alexa. And we're not done talking about these dominant spring sports teams yet. When we come back, we'll recap Maryland baseball's series at Rutgers and show you which Maryland softball pitcher received a special Senior Day surprise.
And then we'll go over our top 5 moments of the year and show you how some of us fared in trying to recreate some of the jaw-dropping action we picked as our top 5 plays. Don't go anywhere.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the Left Bench TV, where it's now time to talk some baseball.
You're darn right it is, Katie. Maryland baseball is ranked 18th in the country and has yet to lose a Big Ten series this season. They were hoping that wouldn't change this weekend in Piscataway. And because of the wet weekend, the series didn't get underway until Sunday, when the Terps and Scarlet Knights said, let's play 2. Ryan Ramsey notched his 9th win in the first game of the doubleheader, but Maryland fell in Game 2 by a score of 18-7. That set up the rubber match Monday afternoon with Nick Dean taking the mound. And Dean got a little help from Matt Shaw with a tremendous diving play there in the first. Dino struck out 9 Scarlet Knights in 6 innings of work on Monday. At the plate, Maryland had 4 solo homers in the first 4 innings. First, it was Bobby Zmarzlak. Bang, that one's gone. Then Kevin Keister, gone as well. And finally, Matt Shaw, see you later. Maxwell Costas, kaplow. 3-run dinger. And the Terps lead by 3 there in the 4th. But Rutgers would hang around, and Maryland had to turn to the Big Ten's home run leader for some insurance runs in the 9th. Chris Alleen's dinger made it 9-4 and helped his team to a huge series win. And if you remember, the Dirty Terps had a pretty solid season last year, finishing with a 30-18 record on their way to a regional appearance. But one player from that team has a different position in the dugout this year. Our Kira Bruno has more.
One thing led to another, and I decided to stay here for my position this year, and I'm really thankful.
You may recognize Tommy Gardner from last year's Maryland baseball team, but this season he takes on a new role as the team's Director of Player Development.
If I were to go to a different school, I wouldn't have been as comfortable as I am around our coaching staff, so I felt like I had good knowledge of what we do at this program, the foundation and the leadership that could fall on.
Tommy says he still feels like one of the guys, but he's also gaining an invaluable leadership experience with Coach Vaughn and the rest of the staff.
They've all been awesome. They're really respectful for everything that I'm doing. But I just kind of see myself kind of as a bridge from the players to the coaching staff, because they know that I still live with Bubba and stuff, and we're going to have our conversations off the field, but everything on the field is very professional.
The Dirty Terps have been having quite a historic season, and Gardner says being in the dugout is helping his dreams come true.
As a freshman, one thing that I wanted to do at the University of Maryland was to be able to compete for a Big Ten championship and a national championship.
Already with the most wins in program history, the 2022 squad is looking forward to making more history and achieving some of Gardner's goals.
For this season, we've been playing really well, and hopefully we can continue to do that into the postseason, and we can do the things that I set out to come here for.
For the Left Bench TV, I'm Kira Bruno.
Thanks, Kira. Maryland softball capped off its regular season in a doubleheader with Ohio State on Sunday, but couldn't grab any wins for its seniors on Senior Day. The Terps didn't notch any runs in the first games, but came back with some fight in the second, despite drowning by an 8-1 deficit in the 7th inning. However, the 4 late runs weren't enough to claw their way to a comeback victory, falling to the Buckeyes 8-5. Though the Terps didn't finish things off in the way they might have liked to, one of them got the Senior Day surprise of her life. Pitcher Haley Ellefson took to the mound during the ceremony for a reason she's never had to before, to get engaged. Ellefson's now fiance popped the question, and she said yes, surrounded by all of her teammates going crazy behind her. Congrats, Haley. Now, the weekend loss is no reason to panic, though, because Mark Montgomery's squad has had quite a year, and they're already set up to make some noise in the postseason. The 5th-seeded Terps will kick off the first round of the Big Ten tournament on Wednesday against tourney host and 12th-seed Michigan State at 7 p.m. Should they advance, 4th-seeded Michigan will be awaiting them in the quarterfinals. The last time these two met was back in April, where the Wolverines took the series 2-1. But that Friday night Maryland win was arguably its biggest of the season. And it's been a year of some pretty unforgettable moments for your favorite Terps, but we somehow managed to narrow it all down to what we think are the top 5. So, Kevin, start us off.
All right, we'll kick things off with the return of the 2002 national champions to College Park. It turns out Gary Williams and company coming back was exactly what the Terps needed to come out with a revenge win over number 22 Ohio State. Xfinity Center was certainly bumping for this one, and it was a moment Terp fans won't forget anytime soon.
And in at number 4, it's a moment Ryan Blumberg will certainly never forget himself. After battling injuries for basically his entire collegiate career and essentially only playing about 20 minutes prior to the regular season finale in October, the senior notched his first career goal against Indiana on his senior day. Now, I was there for this game, and seeing Ryan move to tears with his teammates going nuts for him was seriously something else. What a moment.
And now we're headed to the pavilion for the number 3 moment of the year, when Maryland volleyball pulled off its biggest upset win in program history, taking down then number 2 and eventual national champion Wisconsin. It was Sam Sayer's spike to clinch it in front of the most fans to ever fill the Pav, and they went absolutely crazy.
And at number 2, it's the long-awaited bowl win for Maryland football. For the first time since 2016, the program finally qualified for a bowl game, and they ventured to the Big Apple to take on Virginia Tech in the New Era Pinstripe Bowl. And they did so in beatdown fashion, taking down the Hokies 54-10. Clearly, these guys were having a blast in Yankee Stadium. Talia Tagovailoa was named the MVP, and they set a new standard for what this program's capable of.
Talk about a standard, and maybe you guessed it, maybe you didn't, but Ryan Ramsey's perfect game was the clear choice for our best moment of the year. The junior lefty was the second Terp to ever achieve perfection, and it was the 34th perfect game in NCAA history. What a moment, what a team. Congrats again to Ryan. And as you know, we usually crown the top 5 plays we saw from Maryland sports each week. But since this school year is wrapping up, we took it a step further, and our producing team recreated some of the best 5 plays of the year.
And you might see some familiar faces here, including ours. And don't worry, we absolutely included the bloopers. Let's roll it.
All right, I'm Kevin McNulty, and now it's time to recreate our top 5 plays of the year. Starting off with Jason Savacool's strikeout against Illinois last month. And I'm going to be recreating that one and striking out Kira Bruno over there. Let's do it. Let's go! Let's go! Is that what he said? Can't hear it. He didn't have audio on it.
This is Ricky Podgorski, and for your number 4 play, I'll be attempting this Dante Scott dunk. Almost forgot. All right, let's try this out. Woo! Oh yeah! On to the next play.
All right, I'm Jonas Evans, and this is your number 3 play. It's Sydney Dowler's spike against Michigan State. That's kind of high, but I have no excuse. I'm 6'5". I gotta go.
Woo!
First try.
I'm Alex Gary, and I'll be recreating the number 2 play, Marcus Fleming's one-handed grab against Minnesota. Let's get it.
All right, I'm Katie Maher, and I am here to recreate your top play of the year, which is Daniel Kelly's one-handed behind-the-back goal. This might be rough, but let's get into it. Why did I do that on the first try?
Yeah! Did you see that?
As Katie got it first try, it's gonna be a little while. Wrong side. That was on me. There's a disconnect happening here. That was on the inside of the purple.
Our poor boy, Alex Gary. Oh, man.
He tried so hard,
and it
but
still
A for
didn't look
effort.
that cool. But
Not nearly as cool as Marcus Fleming did it. And I don't even think I did the behind-the-back one correctly. I tried.
yeah, I don't know. I still got really excited for my strikeout, and Ricky still has his knee intact. So
Yes, thankfully. He's all good.
one big dub from today. It was a lot of fun.
It was.
And as we continue to look back on this year, we figured some awards were in order.
You might have been expecting us to crown our usual Terp of the Week, but today we're going to start things off by naming our Terps of the Year. Taking the title as our female Terp of the Year, it's the Queen of Maryland Gymnastics herself, Audrey Barber. Barber has stamped her name in the record books, becoming the all-time leading point scorer and leading her team to an NCAA regional berth, with plenty of record-breaking meets along the way to end the season ranked 20th in the nation. She also capped things off as an All-American and an All-Big Ten first-team selection. Barber's been nothing short of a star in her time with the Gym Terps, and she came back for her 5th year to make history, which is exactly what she did. Congrats, Audrey, on being our female Terp of the Year.
And who else to be named our male Terp of the Year? Then Maryland men's lacrosse all-time leading point scorer Logan Wisnowskis. The 5th year has proved exactly why he's sporting that coveted #1 jersey, both as a leader and as an athlete. His 48 goals and 36 assists earned him the Big Ten Offensive Player of the Year honor and a unanimous first-team All-Big Ten selection. Not to mention he's a finalist for the Tewaaraton Award. The Sexville native surpassed Jared Bernhardt on the all-time points list earlier this season, and if he keeps it up, he could very well be holding up a national title trophy with his team later this month. Congrats to Logan on being our male Terp of the Year. And with Terps starring in the NFL, MLB, NBA, WNBA, among other professional leagues, it was hard to nominate our Pro Terp of the year. But if we have to choose just one, we're going with J.C. Jackson, formerly of the New England Patriots, now of the LA Chargers. Jackson finished second in the NFL last season with 8 interceptions, including an 88-yard pick six against the Panthers in November. He also had 58 tackles and a forced fumble a year ago. The former Terp went undrafted in 2018, but is now headed out west to play for the Chargers.
Speaking of Pro Terps, the guy we're crowning as our comeback Terp of the year could make that list when football season starts up in September. That's right, it's Tennessee Titans draftee Chig Okonkwo. After missing the 2020 season with myocarditis, the tight end thought his football career might be over. But in the 4th round of the 2022 NFL Draft, he found out that certainly wasn't going to be the case. Okonkwo was one of the most reliable targets in Talia Tagovailoa's arsenal, collecting 52 receptions for 447 yards and 5 touchdowns in 2021. He also turned heads at the Combine, recording the fastest 40-yard dash of any tight end invited. Congrats, Chig, on being named our comeback Terp of the year, and best of luck in Tennessee. And while some athletes like Okonkwo were returning to the spotlight this year, some were just stepping into it for the first time.
Yeah, Katie, and that's why we need to crown our Freshman of the Year, 2 players who really made a name for themselves this fall. First up is male Freshman of the Year, Joshua Bolma of men's soccer. Before securing our nomination, Bolma was named Big Ten Freshman of the Year, which was very well deserved. The Ghana native made 17 starts in 2021 and finished the season with 4 assists and 4 goals, including 3 game winners. Very impressive freshman campaign for Bolma.
And our female Freshman of the Year, well, that has to go to Hope Rose from field hockey. Rose was also named Big Ten Freshman of the Year in addition to earning all Big Ten second-team honors. The 5'4" forward made 21 starts for Missy Maher last fall, and she finished the season with 10 goals and 4 assists. No doubt, it was a great start to her Maryland career.
And Katie, I sure am looking forward to watching those two in their sophomore seasons this fall.
Absolutely. Fall's coming up closer than we think.
Yeah, just a couple of months. And we're still not done right here yet, because when we come back, we'll be joined by the Wright brothers, Logan Hill and Noah Ferguson.
And we've got a preview of everything you can expect to see from fall sports in just a few months. Stay tuned.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
Welcome back one last time to the Left Bench TV for this year, where we are joined by the lads, Logan Hill and Noah Ferguson. Boys, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us.
And Logan, it's your last appearance on our show, as a student at least, and I heard you whipped up a Maryland version of America's favorite game.
Yeah, Jeopardy. It's going to be a lot of fun. I made some questions for you guys. I didn't know Noah was playing, but I still expect him to come in third.
Well, it's America's favorite game. We all know there are 3 contestants on Jeopardy, and we're all here for you, so let's get going.
And we have buttons.
Yeah, thanks to the internet. This is what they sound like. They all sound the same, so Logan will have to decipher who hit the button, but we have them here.
And so I have 2 categories. We have men's sports and we have women's sports, 5 questions each, not too hard. Katie, we'll let you start since this is your last show behind the desk.
Okay, I'll go. I'm ready.
Pick one.
Men's sports for 500.
Okay, we're going big to start.
Going big.
This Maryland baseball ace has yet to record a loss on the season while at least making 5 starts. Kevin.
Who is Ryan Ramsey?
That would be correct. Ryan Ramsey.
Mr. Perfect Game.
9-0 at the time of this game.
Oh, it's my turn to pick. That's how the game works, right?
Yeah.
Yep. You're
okay.
out.
Let's go women's sports for 400.
This Terp finished second on her team in points last fall, but as a graduate transfer, the best may still be ahead.
very stumped there.
This is the hardest one.
Is this? Oh,
It's field hockey, I know.
yeah.
It's definitely
It has to be field hockey or lacrosse.
Well, it's field hockey because he said last fall.
Oh, that's very true.
You're gonna have to
Hear that
tell
one.
us.
All right, well, the correct answer was Corey Loxley, women's soccer,
Soccer.
daughter of Maryland football head coach Mike Loxley.
I see the best may still be ahead. I got that. I was like, are we talking about football right now?
Clever.
I see now.
I did my best on this
Logan.
game. I figured it was the last one. So you can pick one since you haven't picked yet.
Oh, cool.
It's not how it works. But
I'll go men's sports for 300.
This Terp led Maryland football in receptions and receiving yards while also being tied for the team lead in touchdowns in 2021.
Should I go Conklin?
No.
Who is Rakim Jarrett?
I'm sorry, did you press your button?
I did at the same time.
Yes,
as
yes.
Katie.
Okay, you got it.
Rakim Jarrett. Okay.
Kim Jarrett.
Looks like I'm winning. Okay.
See, I was going easy at first, but now I'm gonna actually start trying. So.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Kevin, you
Well,
pick.
let's go men's sports for 100. Is that still available?
Yes. This San Diego Terp is the only player on Maryland men's lacrosse's team with a national championship ring ahead of the 2022 postseason.
Okay, so you hit
You
it
went
a
too early.
little
Went too early.
but I'll give it to you.
Keaton Kahn.
No.
Who is Anthony DeMeo?
Kevin gets it right again. Anthony DeMeo, a member of the 2017 national championship team.
I'm going all in. I'm guessing.
It's up to you
All right.
again, Mr. McNulty.
Let's go women's sports for 500.
This Terps coach boasts a higher winning percentage in her career than Coach K, Phil Jackson, and Bill Belichick.
I did it after he talked, though.
It's a
That's
fun
true.
You know, go ahead. Go ahead.
Brenda Fries.
That is the correct answer.
Okay.
I'll get one.
Okay. Let's
Maybe.
go women's sports for 500.
We just
Oh, wait,
did that. We
300.
just did that.
It was still on the board.
It was
300.
still on the board. That was
Yeah.
an error on my end. We'll go 300. This Terp transfer exploded onto the scene and was ultimately named Big Ten Attacker of the Year. You guys are gonna have to figure out who got that one.
Rock, paper, scissors?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Aurora accordingly.
That is the right answer.
He
Noah
didn't
does get
formulate
the
it
question
as a
right.
question.
Oh, who
That's
is
a good
Aurora
point.
accordingly? My bad.
All right, we'll let you pick again.
I'm gonna go men's sports 400.
This redshirt freshman and Ghana native led Maryland men's soccer with 3 game-winning goals in 2021.
Get me. It was me.
Can I get senior priority?
I don't think Noah has any points. I think we're all going to get
I
it.
just got the right
He just got the right question.
Oh, okay. You're still,
All right, Noah,
you're
your
still
answer.
chasing me.
My
so.
answer, who is Joshua Bolma?
Okay.
That would be
It's not
correct.
like we just talked about him or anything.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
we
I
all
should
knew
read the
that
script
one for
before I
that
make these
reason.
games.
Yeah,
3
the
left.
comeback is on. I'm gonna go women's sports 200.
This Terp shot almost 45% from beyond the arc and almost 96% from the free throw line in 2021-2022. Katie,
Who is Katie Benson?
that is the right answer. We got 2
Katie,
questions
Katie.
left.
Oh, boy.
One
Shout out
men's, one
Mystics.
women's.
Shout out the Mystics.
Has anyone
Yeah.
been keeping score?
Pro Terp.
I think I'm winning.
As
That's
long as
so
we
think
all
that's
have fun.
I think we're honestly all tied at 2.
I think.
That's not really, yeah. Next clue.
We'll go, do we want to go men's sport or women's sport? Second to last question.
Go women's.
We'll go women's. This Big Ten Freshman of the Year was second on her team in points during its run to the Final Four.
You know that was me.
I didn't hear the
my nail hit
sound
the
though.
phone.
I heard the sound.
Yeah, but I hit it first.
It looks like it's another rock, paper, scissors off here on Terps Jeopardy.
Dang it.
Let's go.
Why do I keep choosing
Who is
rock?
Hope Rose? Another easy one.
That is the correct answer. Again, I didn't read the script before I made this game, or it would have been a lot harder. Our last question. This group of Terps fans retired from their roles after the departure of their inspiration from Maryland Athletics in December.
Can I get senior priority?
Sure. Who made the weird sound?
It was a fart with reverb.
Who is the Turgenites?
And that would be correct. They are currently retired and still
are the
looking for work.
Who is
And that's all I have for my game. I think it was a 3-way tie for last.
Yeah, that sounds
Okay.
about right. We can say I won anyways.
We've had worse showings up here when you guys
Yeah.
have come up for games, so
You've embarrassed us sometimes, Logan. But
I tried to make it a little more fun, and then half of the answers were in the show already.
Yeah.
So,
but we appreciate all your time, Logan. Best of luck ahead. Noah, thank you as always for being here.
Yeah, Logan, don't leave. We'll miss you. And Noah, I'm going to make you come on every show next year.
Of course.
So
Yeah, I'll be here.
Don't worry about that one. And speaking of next year, change could be coming to men's college soccer. Maryland coach Saso Sharovsky and others across the country hope to create a full-year schedule for the upcoming season.
TLB's Matthew News has more on what it could look like for the Terps.
The men's collegiate soccer season could be looking a lot different next season as the newly proposed 21st century model looks to transform the men's side of the game and adopt a full-year season.
The 21st century model is a piece of legislation that the men's soccer coaches have been working on for the past 10 years. It's an attempt to modernize the college soccer games.
The 21st century model aims to decrease the amount of games per semester by spanning games across the academic year, a change from the current model where all games are played during the fall semester. In the new model, competitive fixtures would take place in both the fall and the spring, with the championship taking place in May.
Well, the whole idea of this model was let's create some balance and let's move into the 21st century model and do something that we think is better for the players and better for the game.
The plan has the support of the U.S. Soccer Federation and Major League Soccer, along with an 86% approval rate from Division I soccer players. Maryland coach Saso Sharovsky hopes the NCAA can change the schedule for the needs of student athletes.
We're the only ones that haven't adapted and changed to the needs of the student athletes and the needs of the game. We've been an island in the soccer world even.
However, not every program in the country is in support of the new idea. In April, Notre Dame men's soccer openly opposed the 21st century model, with sophomore fullback Patty Burns being the most vocal.
Everyone reviewed the several resources that the 21st century model had sent out, and each person came to the decision that they didn't particularly like it and saw several complications with it.
Potential complications include a 3-month-long break during the middle of the season and a disruption of typical student life, complications Burns say will negatively impact the college game.
To finish the fall part of your season, to bring it down, to then try and rev things up again, to go again in the spring, will be incredibly difficult. College is a different place to an MLS academy. College is a very unique opportunity where you can develop as a whole person. You can develop academically, you can develop on the pitch, you can diversify your networks and relationships.
The NCAA is set to vote on the 21st century model next month in June. And with a lot of different viewpoints to consider, the NCAA has a big decision to make on one of its biggest fall sports. For the Left Bench TV, I'm Matthew News.
And Katie, Friday night lights at Ludwig could look a little different next year. That certainly is interesting.
Yeah, Friday night lights at Ludwig are the best type of Friday night lights once you're in college, so I'd be down for some more of that. So it'll be interesting to see what it's like.
Happening in the spring, though, that would be a little weird, even though we saw it last year, I guess, because COVID year.
Exactly.
But Sarovsky's squad is just one of the teams gearing up for a whole new season of action this fall.
That's right. So some of our producers went around College Park to preview those 5 fall sports teams, tell you everything you need to know before they start up in August.
Talia Tungavailoa is going to have a bunch of weapons to throw the ball to this season, and it's mainly with the receiving core. He has Dante Demas and Jay-Sean Jones returning from injury, Rakim Jarrett back for his junior season, and the transfer from Florida, Jacob Copeland, adding a 4th weapon to this Maryland offense. They lose Chigakonkwo, but this receiving core should stand out nonetheless. Now Ricky to talk about the defense.
Thanks, Nate. The Maryland defense has a lot of holes to fill, especially in that secondary with the loss of Jordan Mosley and Nick Cross. The defense could surprise a lot of people, but also could upset a lot of fans. Now, I'll see you guys later at the Plex to talk about some field hockey, but here's Alana Mutnick to talk about women's soccer at Ludwig Field.
Thanks, Ricky. And football's not the only team with an optimistic season ahead. Maryland native Megan Ryan Nemser is taking over Ray Leon's spot as Maryland women's soccer's new head coach, with hopes of turning around this program. After failing to win its last 24 games against conference opponents, Maryland women's soccer concluded its season with a 4-9-3 record. With already recruiting for the 2022 season, Nemser anticipates a highly successful season for next year with her new squad. Now tell me, Alex, how's Maryland men's soccer looking?
Thanks, Alana. Sasha Sarovsky looks to take the helm for his 29th season, looking for revenge after a disappointing postseason last fall. Now the Terps will be left with holes thanks to the departure of Ben Bender, but
reigning Big Ten Freshman of the Year Joshua Boma will look to be a key to the Terps offense. The Terps went 2-2 in spring season, will look to continue that momentum into the fall. Now to Jonas at the Pavilion to talk about women's volleyball.
Yeah, Alex, this Maryland volleyball team has a lot of potential this year, starting with their 2 incoming juniors, Sydney Dowler, who was the primary setter, and Sam Sire, who led the team in kills last year. And they've also got a transfer coming in from Temple, Jem Grimshaw, who led her team in aces and kills. The Terps have not had a winning record in Big Ten play since they entered the conference in 2014. Maybe this is the year they get it done. Now let's go to Ricky at the Plex to talk some field hockey.
Thanks, Jonas. After one of their best seasons in recent history, the Maryland field hockey team finished with a record of 15-7 and a Final Four appearance. Head coach Missy Maher and the team established themselves as one of the best teams in the Big Ten Conference. They'll look to continue that same momentum going into next season. As you could tell, this upcoming fall is going to be an action-packed season, and we'll be here on the sidelines to cover it all. Make sure you stay up to tune with our coverage.
You know, Kevin, I may not be here next fall to see all these teams in person in action, but I'm definitely excited to follow along on Twitter and every other capacity Maryland Athletics is showing us.
I know, that's what I was going to mention, how you won't be here and how we're all so sad, but we're so happy for you heading out to Kansas to WIBW, covering sports, Jayhawks, Kansas State, Kansas City. We are so excited for you, and thank you for your 4 years here at the left bench. And Kira, since you're going out to Kansas, everyone on staff got you the sunflowers because it's the sunflower state.
Stop!
And
guys.
Katie, thank you so much.
I said I wasn't going to cry during the show. Well, thank you guys so much for everything that you've given me in my 4 years here. TLB made my college career. It's the reason I got the job that I got. Can't talk right now. But I'm just so excited for my next adventure, and I'm so excited to be your guys' biggest fan when I leave. So, thanks.
And we're all so happy for you, okay? And that does it for this final edition of the Left Bench TV for this semester, as we established. Be sure to keep up with all of our coverage of the Terps all summer long on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
We'll see you in September.